What is up, bros? With Josh here. In today's video, we're going over the Tier 5 Premium French Destroyer, the Siroco. This is still going to be technically work in progress in this quote-unquote preview of a video. However, this was announced that it will be part of the French Destroyer event as being the reward for completing the directives, just like the Hill was with the current event going on for Savage Battles. So this will be, and I feel like this is going to be kind of a pattern that Wargaming will do, is kind of giving away a nice free mid-tier ship while finishing the entire event, which I always find cool. So this is still technically work in progress. However, with the event being from the recording of this video just a few days away, I really doubt that many things will change. I feel like we would have seen the changes already. However, this is still technically work in progress, so stats are subject to change. However, the ship we see here will probably be the ship that we see finalized. However, let's dive into some stats. I'll show you some gameplay and also my thoughts about the ship as a tier 5 DD. So the Siroco at tier 5 is kind of all by itself. It's going to have its French style of play, so if you really don't know what that is, pretty much it's guns, 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 and some torps, and no smoke. So there's really nothing to compare it to. The Jaguar, which is still another work in progress ship, which is going to be the Tech Tree tier 5. This is still work in progress, so this isn't even a finalized ship here. So the Siroco really isn't comparable to anything else. It kind of stands by itself, and it won't really play like anything else. Maybe a Gremmy in a way is kind of comparable to this. However, the Gremmy is the Russian tier 5 premium. Maybe a little bit of Podvosky, a little bit in this, but really it's going to have kind of its own playstyle. And really the Siroco is going to be much different either than the Jaguar, which is the tier 5 tech tree ship. Then I'll explain why when we play in the video. But hit points 13,650. So a good comparison I guess we'll do is just let's compare it to the Nicholas. This is going to be something that's going to be relatively similar, a pretty popular tier 5 DD and also quite strong. So we'll kind of compare it to this ship stats wise in general. But the Nicholas at 13,750, the Siroco is going to have 13,650, so just a little bit under that. So remember, the Nicholas has smoke, this does not, so obviously there's going to be some give up here. Main battery though, 4x100. That's why I was kind of comparing it. 130 millimeters, that is. This is why I'm kind of comparing it to the Gremyashi, because it's kind of almost the same caliber. What is the same caliber of guns, same kind of setup. So if you've ever played this ship, you can kind of get comparable output of the guns, but the Siroco is going to have that with a reload of 5.4 seconds. So just briefly, let's look at my captain build because it will affect some of the values down below. Priority target, last stand, survivability expert, concealment expert. If you know me, those are my first 10 points on almost every destroyer. So I apologize if you have seen a lot of my videos. This is going to be almost the same thing every time. Also picked up radio location. You're going to want this not only for offensive but also defensive. I'll explain that when we get into the gameplay. We picked up BFT, so that will affect the reload time. And also we picked up expert marksmanship. You could easily pick up adrenaline rush here, but this is just quality of life. Also, this is a premium ship, so you can rotate a whatever captain in that you want from the French line. However, there really aren't that many French DDs that are available right now, so the captain will be pretty much a new captain probably once this event starts. So start getting a captain ready, maybe base up some of that elite commander XP, which I have 0 of right now. Also, we are running premium consumables, so one thing to kind of note is this does have the reload booster compared to even the Jaguar, which is the tech tree, which I'll do in another video. This doesn't even have it. So the Siroco does have this, the only tier 5 destroyer with this, so it is kind of nice. Unlocks the reload to 50% of the reload for a amount of time, but we did take aiming system mod 1, propulsion, and aiming mod, so that'll be pretty good there. But yes, the rest of the stats though are 4x1x130, 5.4 seconds. Again, with that reload booster can get cut in half, which can be kind of nice, but you'll see some downsides of this ship when we're playing it. Main battery rate 11.8. You're not going to want AFT because you don't want to be spotted from farther away, so 11.8 is fine. Torpedoes though, 2 sets of 3 on a relatively quick reload, but only 7 kilometers, and they're not very fast. So torps are there. How useful they are, that's up to the person. We didn't get too much production out of these torps. It's only 7 kilometers. I wish they were a bit farther, but still, the main thing is going to be using your guns. AA is basically non-existent. We didn't really shoot down too much, and that's going to be the bane of French destroyers is CVs. French destroyers really don't have that high of AA, and if there are plenty of CVs in the game, you are going to have a bit of a problem. So you're going to need to use your speed boost, that is, which is the French speed boost, so it's 20%, remember that. to get near stuff. Maneuverability is pretty decent, comparing it to even the Nicholas. 600, 4 seconds, 37 knots though. Keep an eye on that. The Siroco, 33 knots, 550, and then 3-second rudder shift. The Siroco is the slowest tier 5 DD in the entire game. It sounds weird to call a French destroyer the slowest DD for its tier in the entire game, but it's by far the slowest. Anything can catch it, but the one thing is you have the engine boost. Now that is, again, we'll talk about that in the gameplay itself, but this is going to be something that for me, I tend to rock a speed boost instantly to get into position, but then that is the downside of this ship, is you can't really run away unless you have this. You'll see the speed boost when we get into the game. Detectability, 6 kilometers, and that is something that's relatively nice, kind of middle ground right there, not quite as stealthy as everything else, even comparing it to the Nicholas again. Nicholas is 5.8, but the Siroco is going to be kind of this surprise, using your reload booster and then going stealth again, and it took me a while to kind of get used to this. But anyways, let's dive into some gameplay, show the Siroco and see what it can potentially do, as well as my thoughts and even fears about this ship being a tier 5 premium. So here we are in game with the Siroco, and luckily we got on a pretty good map, a small map, because this is a ship that the speed will affect it throughout the entirety of the play. And one of the things too is the Siroco is going to have, if you've ever played a French destroyer, you're known as being a gunboat DD, you're known as kind of being very fast and using your guns more times than you're not. The Siroco though is a very unique playstyle within this kind of gunboat playstyle. You're not going to be gunboating, and if you do, you're basically get punished for it. And then again, one of the main things I want to talk about is its lack of speed. We are full speed right now, and it feels like we're almost in slow motion. Being one of the slowest ships, or this is the slowest DD at this tier, again, tier 5 is a matchmaking that isn't really the best. You tend to get, a lot of the times, not tend to, but a lot of the times you will get bottom tiered at tier 5 because of how the protective matchmaking of tier 4s and tier 3s works. So you tend to get bottom tiered. This is a game though that it will kind of show what the ship could potentially do. However, throughout this game, I did have to work a little bit harder than I would in a normal situation. Let's say if I was playing the Nicholas or whatever, I'll kind of refer to that one a lot. But this is a ship, though, you are going to have to work a little bit harder, as well as work kind of smarter to do your damage. So it's not going to be kind of one of the easier situations to really, it's not going to be one of those ships this is going to be an easy face roll when people get it. And I think the ship might be kind of tough for a lot of people to actually play. Now, one of the things right here that I kind of wanted to show off, especially in this video, is the potential of burst damage. Now, the alpha damage on this ship is quite good when the shells hit. One of the things I noticed about this, though, is the shells aren't that accurate for some reason. This is something that I saw as a pattern. As you see right there, we did almost a 2,000 salvo, but then you're going to see a couple salvos where it's just, they're not even close to the ship. This is something I definitely noticed when I was playing this. I had to play this ship a lot and get myself into some situations. This is a ship that took me a while to kind of understand, and is definitely going to be a tough one for a lot of people to really get the idea of how to play. So when you normally talk about a gunboat destroyer, you're talking about maybe firing all the time and being really fast. This one, you see, I haven't really even used my speed boost yet, because I know I need to use my speed boost almost defensively. Again, we don't have that defense mechanism that is a smoke or something to kind of disengage. And really, if something wants to chase us down, if that Clemson wanted to just hit the W key and chase us down, we have to kill that because we can't outrun them. And that's one of the things that's going to take people a little while to get used to, because you are just not, you don't have the speed, you don't have that tool. So what you'll do a lot in this ship, and it took me multiple games to kind of figure this out, is you are going to, one, go guns, kind of use your surprise attack, if you will. And this is actually funny because I was playing the Jaguar so much. Jaguar has 9 kilometers. Well, it did at one point. It just got changed. And so I launched these 7Ks, imagining they would be 9K torps. And then I said, oh, crap, I forgot that they didn't have them. So the 7Ks are okay at this tier. I think it's near kind of the max range for DDs at this tier. But they are going to be something that you're probably going to defend yourself a lot more. You do have a 6 kilometer detection range, so that it is kind of nice. But yes, it's something that these are not going to be and there's only 6 of them. So again, not going to be the best spot right here. You will see what 130s do to low tier cruisers though, which is always a bonus. That's something that you can always kind of get some giggles out of. And I was like, oh man, those are going to hit. He's standing there, and then they disappeared. And that is the exact moment I remembered, oh yeah, these are 7-kilometer ones. But 130 AP still going to be pretty good against a Kuma. I mean, if you sneeze at a Kuma, you're going to Citadel it. But again, though, just throughout the video, just kind of watch the accuracy of the shells. And it may have just been kind of a placebo effect to me or something, but down they went. So some decent alpha damage from that AP as well. So be sure to use both HE and AP in this ship. Again, though, holding on to that life, really our only lifesaver, our only kind of thing we have to really disengage from anything or reset a fight is our speed. So that is going to be a brutal kind of mix right here. Again, this is not going to be one of the easier ships to play. This is going to be a ship that is going to be tough to learn and really tough to play. It's not going to be kind of this base roll of a DD that a lot of DDs are. The Hill, I think, that just came out is such a fun ship and such a strong ship. This one is not going to be as much. We're trying to get our CV to get back here. Also, again, CVs. This is a game that you're going to see. The only reason that we did this well in this game is because we were pretty much not focused at all. We got really lucky in this game. I played this ship pretty extensively for a couple days now, and this is a ship that took me a while, kind of having to really think about how to play. And I think I probably played maybe 15-20 games with this before I finally figured it out, and then got a game good enough to really even make a video on. And it was a video where kind of the stars aligned. The CV didn't focus me, the ships didn't really focus me. You know, that was kind of a thing. The Hill is playing the Hill compared to playing this ship. The Hill was so much easier to play, and really trying to get that too. I just didn't feel as comfortable as I would with other ships. However, the ship will be free, which is amazing. You know, I think it's a cool little thing because it adds a unique play style. This is going to be one ship that I feel like a lot of people won't really enjoy. It's kind of a awkward play style. You know, you play certain tiers, you play certain play styles, you kind of, you know, you play the Hill and it plays like a USN DD. You play let's say the Grammy and it plays like a Russian DD. You play all these things that they are premium versions of that, and they have the same play style. This one is a bit more of a niche play style of the French line, and it's something that I don't even think I'll play that much. Although I like the French play style, I think it's kind of fun. I think it's unique. I like kind of the gunboat style. Again, if you saw my video on the tier 4, I feel like they need to be very careful because they do have a lot of gunpowder at these lower tiers. So they could be big seal clubbing ships because they just out DPM everything. This one though, you lose a little bit of health, you lose a little bit of a couple things, and you get this reload booster. But I felt like the reload booster for this was something that maybe wasn't quite the best because of the accuracy of the shells, and it's kind of goofy to really think about that. But here we go. We're trying to maybe get into a spot right here and bring it back, and you're going to see right here, this is the goofiness of low tiers, and this is the only way this video was kind of possible, is I don't really get focused here. And there's a lot of ships that are pretty low. There's a lot of ships that are pretty pretty easy to kill. We're going to try to take out this Wakeful if we can. And I did kind of like this idea of playing something that you are kind of this assassin waiting in the shadows. But as you see right here, we kind of pushed in and use our speed boost. If this Wakeful wanted to kind of push towards me, I couldn't go dark. It would have been impossible. And so that is something that you really need to be aware and plan forward when you're playing this, because right now, one thing I also did notice too was you bleed so much speed when it comes to turning. If you turn at all in this ship, you bleed so much speed. And there we go, sitting broadside in smoke. Down he goes. And as you see, we're trying to bring it back here. But this is definitely not a carry ship either, although I think we end up carrying in this. But yes, this is a situation right here of a couple DDs pushing forward. We have a cruiser that's trying to ripple fire me, but hasn't really hit me yet, and we're able to slowly take these down. But again, just notice that the guns really didn't seem to be that accurate. Obviously, we could have buffed up the fire chance a little bit more. We have only a couple of fires so far. The alpha damage, though, when they do hit, is relatively nice. Again, that was only like a single shell that hit right there. I remember like going like, okay, here's, you know, here's X damage and here's that, and everything was so low when playing this. You really want to play this as that French style. When we were testing out the Mogador and the Bear, the high tiers, you basically didn't stop firing, and that was so much fun. It was so much fun to be this agile, fast DD. This, though, you're so freaking slow. Now you will see the speed here of when it does have the speed boost. You're gonna get pretty fast. You're gonna get 39 knots or something like that. That's awesome. But when that speed boost dies off, you are in slow motion and you can feel it when you play. So again, using that to kind of keep some distance on these, we'll get this fire done here. We took out one already. We're gonna help take out this Kuma. I probably could have saved my reload booster here. I thought about that after the fact, but we wanted to get this out because we need to get some kills right here. Again, upside of the ship, it does have some pretty nasty surprise attack potential, so that's pretty nice. The guns, when they do hit, they hit relatively hard, and the fire chance was actually pretty decent when we were playing it. We could even buff it up a little bit more with flags, but this is something that you have to plan out much more than you ever would in a lot of situations. And here you kind of see us get a little bit more aggressive on this. We're bringing this game back 34k, but it's just in so many of these spots we could have probably done more easier and in several other ships, and that is something that I feel like will be very kind of tough for a lot of newer players to really get a hold. This is not going to be a new player friendly ship. This is going to be somebody that has a general idea of the game, can think a few steps ahead, and most of the players like that probably aren't going to spend too much time when it comes to playing tier 5s, or if they are, they're going to play something probably a tad stronger. So it was when thinking about, I always try to find something that a ship like this brings to the table that another ship doesn't. You know, always try to find a reason to play the ship, or find a reason why anybody would play the ship. And the Siroco, I just don't really see it. I mean, if you, there's so many other tech tree ships that kind of just are easier to play. If I wanted to play kind of a gunboat line, what I would do is I would just play the Podvodski. It'd be much easier. I'd do way more damage. It'd be kind of just easier to play, and you are way faster and all this kind of goodness. The Siroco kind of lacks anything that makes it shine. You kind of just have to plan around what you're doing, hope no one chases you down, hope you don't run into a DD or a team that really focuses you. As you see, the remainder of this game is just not really getting focused at all and not really getting hit. I mean, how many ships were we just surrounded by right there, and we took little to no damage. But we are kind of bringing this back. Again, this Nicholas, if he wanted to run away, I basically can't catch him. I can't catch him until I get my my reload booster. Now, it is kind of funny when you do pop the reload booster and nothing can run away. I did find that very funny. But still, if he wants to run away, then he runs away. Like right here, I knew I couldn't catch him, so I just disengaged. And that can be a big downside of this ship. And so he almost gets away right here. We hit him with a couple, I think 1 or 2 more shells. And I'm like, we need to get this kill because they're going to cap all these caps back. But we will get a little bit more damage. They're all missing shells. I'm missing shells because the shells are relatively inaccurate. We hit him twice there. He has 46 life. So I'm trying to figure out what the best play is right here. And I think they end up getting him just right there. I think somebody does one when he just goes dark. I think somebody ends up hitting him. But right now, as you can see, this is something I would love to be in, like, name almost any other ship, because we're trying to get caps back because they're going to have them all. They're going to kill our CV. I was trying to figure out the best way to do this, and really, I'm so slow when I don't have my speed boost. As you can see right here, we're pretty fast with that boost. That French speed boost is crazy. 20%. We're 39 and some change. We could even be even faster with the flag, the 5% flag, which I do highly recommend. Again, in all of these games that I play live on twitch.tv, I don't play, I don't have anything that affects my outcome in the game. I just play purely the ship itself, and I have a detonation flag. That's it. So we could be 5% faster. I would highly recommend using it on this. It's going to need every little buff it can get for speed. And I think right now we're just going to go hunt the CV because that'll be fun. But again, we're super weak against CVs. We have little to no AA. I think I turn my AA on. You can kind of see how pitiful the damage is. I don't know if I turn my AA on or not here. But he is right around this corner, so we're gonna just kind of focus on this and hopefully get this kill right here. And hopefully the team, as I'm trying to, kind of coordinate a little bit of an attack here, get these caps back. Luckily, some of the teammates kind of listened, so we were able to get a bit of the job done, and we're going to kind of push in here. This is also one reason, as you can see, I'm going to leave the caps so we can just get this kill and hopefully not get murdered by either the Mermansk or the battleship that was still over here. But one of the reasons that Superintendent could also be very, very good, as you see, in almost every game I played, I was pretty much out of speed boost and out of reload booster. So definitely worth taking Superintendent if you can. I particularly liked having BFT, and I like having radio location. Now, I talked about when we were going over the captain, radio location is more of a defensive thing, not so much an offensive thing. And what I mean by that is, again, talking about the speed. The speed of this ship is alarmingly low. So what do you want to do when something's maybe trying to get you? Now, if you're dark and let's say something's chasing you down, and you can have the kind of idea, if something's chasing you, you can have the idea of where they are and then throw torps that way. It's very good because really your oh shit button in this is purely the speed boost. That's it. So, and here you're going to see a little bit of nice alpha. I will give the ship credit. It does have some good alpha here. The 130s are going to do a lot of damage, and even against a ship like the Mermansk, which is actually quite strong for tier 5, we're going to do a decent little job here and start knocking him out a little bit. We will do some... I wasn't super scared of cruisers of this tier. We did take a little bit of a bit more damage than I really wanted to, but nice little 1800 salvo. And I think they go down right here. Well, I think maybe one of the salvo or the next. We were able to push him away. And one of the things I found to be so much funny, I kind of just sat here. It was a bit of a misplay. But one of the jokes I made when I was playing this is, even though I do have last stand, the ship is so slow that you literally can't tell if you have propulsion or not when the propulsion gets knocked out. You seriously just can't tell because it's just so slow. It's kind of funny. And yeah, as you see right here, I do have last stand, so I'm still moving. But look, the speed I can move is almost laughable. It's kind of goofy. But we're gonna get BCAT back. There's our 6th kill of the game. Now, this outcome took me about 10, 12 games to finally get one that was decent. There were a lot of games that took me a long time, that were very mediocre and just were not this. And let me be sure to tell you that this game was not the normal game when playing Siroco. This game was the one game I'm like, finally I have one good enough for a video. And as you saw throughout this, a lot of this game was just me not getting focused and finishing off ships, and the majority of my damage was killing a full life CV. So this ship is going to be hard for many people to play. It's not going to be that easy of a ship. Now, the best part is it is going to be a free ship. The best part is it's also going to be a decent little captain trainer. I do respect that it has a bit of a unique play style. And we actually had, it was kind of awkward. Whenever you're doing like the math right here, it's always kind of awkward, and you're trying to figure out if you need to kill, if you don't need to kill, if you need to get things done, if you don't need to get things done. And here was kind of a bit of a weird situation. Our Omaha, I figured if he died or he killed me, could we win this, and we actually needed to get the kill, and we only have 1 minute 30. So the Omaha though is pumping in some damage. He did release or repair that one fire, so I figured maybe we could do that. And luckily the rest of these guys played awesome. Some of them listened. The Omaha pushed onto the cap, which stopped the cap points, and that basically locked in our victory regardless, because even if I die, we'll probably be able to kill this this battleship right here. But again, upsides of this ship is it's going to end up being free just for playing, so that's always awesome. A nice little freemium if you're looking for something like that. It does have some good alpha damage. It does offer a very unique play style that we don't really see anywhere else, not even on the tech tree. And this is something that you could maybe have some fun if you like that play style. But boy, is this going to be a tough ship for many people to play. It's not particularly good at really anything, and it's something that I think a lot of people will have a tough time getting the hang of. Again, it took me multiple games to kind of get the idea of it. You have to disconnect yourself from playing the French destroyer kind of gunboat style to being more of a surprise attack ship, which I did find maybe a little cool in certain spots. You're super weak against CVs, so be aware of that. So don't go too far out. And again, that speed boost, you want to get that speed and get into position, but that's one of the things that's a bit of a downside here too, is I fear that many people will use the speed boost to get into a position and not be able to get out of it. So the defense of this ship is its speed. The offense of this ship is being, I guess, relatively stealthy and kind of can do something like that. So it's going to take a while. This is going to be a ship that doesn't match for everyone. Luckily, you will be able to get it for free through the directives. Again, though, it is work in progress, although I figure we'll see something relatively close to this, but still technically work in progress, just status subject to change. But anyways, this is a nice little preview of the ship. Still going to kind of watch this and play it a little bit more, see if it gets better over time. Maybe I'm missing something, but this is one of the games that we kind of had the outcome in. Does not do as well when it is getting bottomed here, that's for sure. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this preview of the Siroco, the Tier 5 Premium French Destroyer. Again, you will get this for free by finishing up the directives in the French Destroyer event. That is it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.